All right, guys, welcome today to our coffee chats. For anyone who's new here, I am Vanessa McConkey, certified functional medicine nutritionist and your autoimmune and chronic illness consultant. And I wanted to let you know, just a quick background about me. I was diagnosed in 2007 with Addison's disease. It's a rare adrenal condition in which you're only diagnosed after about 90% of your adrenals are gone. Okay. And that was in my early 20s. And after about 6.5 years plus of fainting and being incredibly thin, as you can see, super thin, addicted to sugars, I was sick for weeks, things like that. I worked hard trying to figure out doctors, to go to. Functional medicine was not a thing back then. Naturopaths, things like that, they're all called hippies and things like that. They weren't well known, but when I was diagnosed, I was about 110 pounds, and they put me on 20 to 30 milligrams of prednisone, which is only supposed to be short term, by the way. And that was a lot for a 110 pound, 21-year-old girl. Okay. So after being on prednisone for a few years, I ended up getting puffy and stuff because I was retaining water and any other supplements. We tried all kinds of stuff too. If you want to look at the transformations, I actually just posted one on Tuesday, yesterday, of the transformation. You'll see my face is super puffy, and to now of being on very little medication, just what's good for my body to survive. But I decided I had it. I had said, hey, you know what? Why would such a healthy woman? I was a big runner. You guys can read all about my story, watch other videos, things like that. But I was like, why does such a healthy woman have such a crazy disease, right? So, but today we're going to talk about vacation and autoimmune conditions, because it's something that a lot of people with autoimmune conditions, you're I want to go on vacation, but I dread going on vacation. It's that love-hate relationship, right? Of, I really want to go and have fun, but I know that I'm going to wear myself out and I'm going to be tired and I'm going to be exhausted, and what to eat and all the things, right? I don't want to get sick. I don't want to be in the bathroom all day. I don't want to take 3+ weeks to recover. And that's exaggerated. But most medical professionals, they actually, conventional medicine professionals, they actually categorize I can't even talk today. Categorize travel as a stressful event, especially those of us with autoimmune conditions, right? Inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, Crohn's, those type of things, celiac, Hashimoto's, psoriasis, you name it, is a stressful event, right? Because you've got to do a lot of planning, and it's not always fun, to be honest with you, right? You got to change your routine. You can have jet lag if you're flying. You've got unfamiliar germs or foreign foods. If you're going out of the country, what are they going to serve? What's in it type thing. That can tend to exacerbate one's condition. And plus you've got, tons of people out there who may or may not have autoimmune conditions. And what's happening is they're adhering to very strict anti-inflammatory diets because that's what makes them feel good and makes them be able to live, quote, normally. And that's really hard on vacation. So I wanted to come to you today, and say, hey, these are what I do on vacation. And it's on the top of my mind because we just had a long vacation this weekend, and I wanted to share with you about what you can do to still be able to enjoy the vacations. For example, this past weekend, I wanted French fries with my family, potato French fries, not sweet potato, not any of that. I wanted potato French fries. And but I was able to have them because I have the tools in my tool belts that I know that when I eat X that I'm not supposed to have for me, that I'm going to feel like Y, and then I'm going to be able to, it's going to be this type of recovery for me. So that's a choice, but I know how to get through my flare-ups as a result of having those proper tools in my toolbox, okay? So, you don't want to live in fear. And a lot of us do these days, fear of not being able to do something physically, whether it's eating something or doing a physical activity as a result of our autoimmune conditions. So, but I want to give you some tips, some really cool tips for trips that are going to be able to help you. And so I want you to, if you're able to, get out a pen and paper or crayon or whatever you got around, highlighter, and take some notes. And if you're rewatching this, if you're driving or something like that, I want you to rewatch it later, listen to it, and go ahead and take these notes. Okay, so the first thing I always want you to do, especially if you're going like longer distance, is make sure that and you have multiple autoimmune conditions, is make sure that you get clearance from your doctor, okay? That is the number one thing. If you've got, specific conditions, and you've got MS or something like that, you've got multiple conditions where you have to take medications, and things like elevation when you're flying really affect you, you need to get clearance, okay? So that's the number one thing. All right, you want to make sure you get especially if you're out of the country, get the necessary checkups, all those things, okay? Get blood work run, make sure you know where you're at, bring those medical records with you, that type of thing, okay? Number one, just get out of the way. Anyone should really do that. And the second one is make sure you stock up on extra medication and supplements. I always, for example, I carry extra of my, like, oh my gosh, gonna live or die medications and supplements in my purse, at least 3 days worth. I always have. And I restock, and I set reminders on my phone, all those things for when I use it up. Then always in like my supplement container too, I have extra as well. So if it's a 4-day trip, I make sure I've got 7 days worth in there and my 3-day stockpile. Okay, it's really important. And then make sure too, like whoever you're traveling with knows that, okay, and knows where you're like for example, I've take steroids when, if I'm stressed, or let's say whatever it may be. I make sure that my husband and my kids know where those are at. So if anything happens to me, they can just be like, here, Vanessa, take it. Okay, so that's really important too. And another thing too with your compartments, especially if you're traveling on the airplane or with a group of people maybe you don't know or out of the country, make a list, and have your doctor's information on there too of the supplements that you are taking and the medications that you're taking. I don't always take the medication containers. Put it in there so people know, and if they have questions, they can contact your doctor. I always put the phone number, the name of the doctor, and the email address on there. So if someone finds it, first of all, and then second of all, if they find me and there's an issue with me, they can, say, hey, okay, doctor, what's going on here, type thing, okay? Now, the day before, okay, this is really important. Sometimes even 2 days before I do this, is I'm a list person, is write down all the things that I absolutely have to make my trip comfortable, make me comfortable. I'm big on putting your own oxygen mask on first before you start helping other people. So I make sure I've got all my stuff together, whatever I may need, medications, comfy clothes. For example, I've had some back and neck pain lately, so I make sure that I've got things that are going to take care of that. Those things available, okay? Then I start making the lists and getting things ready for other people, okay? Again, your mask first before the people, all right? Extra clothing, blankets, you name it. I'm one, like, you rather have too many things in your suitcase than not enough type thing. Make sure you have extra water. Water, as we talked about last week, is one of the biggest causes of brain fog. And our brains are made up of mostly water, our bodies, water, all the things, okay? You can go back and watch that another time. The next thing I want to make sure you do, especially the night before, is make sure you have time to unwind. And this not only is a part of the day before you leave, but every night of the trip. Sleep is so important, guys. So maybe download a meditation app, listen to soft music, whatever it may be. I use a sound machine. I'm big on the sound machines. So I bring mine wherever I can. If I don't have that, I download something on my phone, just because that's something that I normally sleep with. And I want to make sure that I get as restful sleep as I possibly can. When I'm doing road trips, I have my weighted blankets that I bring with. If I'm not, then I just make sure that I contact the hotel wherever I'm staying ahead of time to see what kind of amenities they do have. That's really important because it's not going to be perfect. So just know that right now it's not going to be perfect, but just do the best that you can and make sure you're just aware of things like at the hotel or the motel, whatever, resort, before you're going, or whoever's house you're staying in, Airbnb, whatever it may be, okay? And again, that leads into high quality sleep, okay? I know you're on vacation, a lot of us want to go and do and experience all these other things, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're getting those same 7 to 8 hours plus of sleep a night, okay? Even if it means, and I know this is so hard, this was hard for me this weekend, even if it means missing out on some activities, or for example, this kind of leads into my next one here of being active. You want to be active, but at the same time, what I tend to do lately, and I used to be a go person all the time, like let's pack full the day full of activities. My husband's like that. My kids love this stuff, but I have to be realistic. As we get older, I'm like close to 40 here, like you have to plan just like one major activity. And I say major lightly, that's major to you, something that is going to excite you enough and you can put a lot of your energy and focus into. I highly recommend doing something like that, like mid to late morning if possible, so that you're able to come back and maybe take a nap and then you can still go out to dinner or do those things. Okay, really important. Okay, for example, when we went to Sedona this weekend, we're like, okay, the first day we did Lava Cave in Flagstaff, and then we're like, okay, that's our activity for the day. We'll spend the rest of the time just maybe doing parks or chilling at the hotel. Not a big deal. Go out to dinner, call it a day. Then the next day we're like, okay, we're gonna go to a park, kind of chill in the hotel, and then we kind of reversed it and then did Slide Rock in the afternoon. And so I was unable to participate in the physical activity of going in the river and stuff like that and jumping off the cliffs like I usually would, but I was still able to be there and present and be excited and things like that for my kids and my husband. Okay, so that's kind of what I mean there. So if you have questions about what kind of activities would be good for people with autoimmune conditions and still have fun, let me know. Okay. But we still want to be able to say, I want to make the most of it. So don't jam pack your days. Pick out the big things that you want to do, or extend your trip if you're able to be able to do more activities throughout the course of the trip. Okay. And then always plan, if it is a really big one that you know is going to exhaust you or wear you out, plan extra days, maybe within the trip or after the trip, so you're not like coming back, like say for example, you come back after a long weekend, you have Monday off, and then Tuesday, boom, right into work and all your stuff. No, you're just gonna, your system with autoimmune conditions is just gonna wear you out, and you're gonna get more and more stressed internally, externally, and it's gonna be exhausting, all the things. And you guys know this, right? Okay. The next thing, and I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, but exercise, okay? So what I mean by that is low impact, walking, stretching. Make sure you stretch before bed and when you wake up. That's huge. Again, download an app, search it on YouTube. Ask me for stretches too. These are really important. We want to make sure we're still mobile, okay? Especially like we went on a road trip this weekend, sitting a lot in the car, and it can be uncomfortable. So if you can stretch as much as possible, even in the car, like doing some arm stretches, things like that, getting up, moving around a little bit, doing some arm circles, anything to keep yourself kind of moving and grooving. And when you stop for gas or things like that, get up and move around, right? If you're in an airplane, when they turn off the, seatbelts on, get up and walk around. People used to laugh at me and look at me funny when I did that when I was in corporate. I'm like, hey, if I'm going to be on a 3.5 hour plane ride, I'm going to get my butt up and move, right? Unless it was a night when I was sleeping, okay? Then the next one is, and this one's hard, is eat clean. So for example, right, so travel, it's really stressful as it is without worrying about like sampling all the local shops and things like that. So it's a big thing. I've cried about that over the years. Like, I want to be able to go experience this amazing like cinnamon roll that's like this big and full of all this stuff. But I'm like, I'm going to be sick, right? So two things I do before traveling, especially to places that I know, is I kind of just observe, where's my hotel? Where's, maybe the airport, if I'm going in the airport. Okay, what are the restaurants in between that I can have? And I write those down. I put them in, either on a piece of paper or in an app in my phone, in the notes app, and say, hey, okay, this is what I can have, or this is a place that I can modify. Like, maybe like we went to Picasso's last night, which is an organic place. We can do things like a Chipotle, or some of the burger places you can modify, wrap them in lettuce, things like that are really, really helpful. And it also helps like my family too. We have young kids. So it's crazy when you sit down and try and decide what everyone wants anyways. So it's really good to be able to open up their menu and be like, okay, boom, these are the things that I can have, write it all down. Hey, server, yes, this is exactly what I want, boom, right? Don't be afraid to ask them what's in things, okay? If you need to eat gluten-free, but you also have an intolerance to potato, like my son does, ask them, hey, most gluten-free things have potato in them. What are the ingredients on there? Okay, don't be ashamed. You have to deal with what's going in your body and the results of it, okay? Not them. Their job is just to sell you, okay? So it actually might be an upcharge for them too. All right, so that's the first thing that I do. I also plan my snacks. I make sure I have extra snack bars in there, lots of vegetables and fruits. Those are things you can definitely bring in on planes, road trips. We have a cooler. We jam pack it full, okay, of all the things that we can have. Cereals are really good. These are things I don't recommend on a regular basis, but when you're traveling, they're so helpful, okay? I always make sure too, when I'm going to a place, that they have at least a refrigerator and a microwave. And then I always scope out the local grocery store. First of all, it's cheaper to go to the grocery store and grab something and throw it in the microwave or in the fridge than it is to go eat out and modify too, by the way. But we always make sure we eat out at least once or twice and whatnot. Our biggest thing is finding a place that's got a stove. Like we did that this weekend, is we found a place that had a stove. and we were able to cook up some breakfast and things like that, and it was great. Having 5 people in our family and all boys can get quite expensive eating out, but it's enjoyable teaching them how to eat and things like that as well. And I don't have to get dressed to go out, right? So that's another thing too. And you can just chill out and relax and sit on the hotel bed. So that's what I recommend there too. On top of it too, especially with autoimmune conditions, is too much sun. Be aware of. So make sure you've got your sunscreen. I like to home make ours if you want the recipe for that. It works very, very well. Toxins are really huge to us too, making sure that they're not, our skin is our biggest organ, right? Bring a hat, bring blankets. Like when we went to Slide Rock, we all had towels that we had covered up on us as we were walking around and whatnot. Really, really important. So if possible, try and, stay out of the sun between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., wherever you're at, because that's when the highest amount of UV rays are available. And then here's the thing too, like I said earlier, take rest days. Okay, there's no shame whatsoever in taking rest days. Okay, your body needs it. Even, a lot of you guys know, following me for a while, I'm Christian. God rested on the 7th day. He did a lot of work, 6 days, rested, okay? We got to do the same. It's okay. The world is going to keep going. No one's going to say, oh my goodness, Vanessa, you are not working or doing or going whatever today. What's wrong? Everyone stop, right? No. All right? So that's really important. And here's the thing too, is it's your body. Listen to your own body. If you need sleep, no joke, y'all. Okay, we got back yesterday, late afternoon. I was in bed by 8 o'clock. I was toast. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I've been in bed some nights at 7 o'clock, and that's okay. All right, so I've taken naps in the day. It's okay, y'all, okay? There's a reason that they're called like siestas, right? Afternoon nap, okay? I wish that my kids still they have quiet time and naps, side note here. And I wish someone would force me in my room and say you have to take a nap every day, right? So let's do that as adults. Come on, take care of ourselves, all right? So I also wanted to tell you about a couple of just manageable exercises you can do while traveling. Like I said, for stretching, you can sit in like your airplane seat, and you can't really see it with me, but you can like bend down and like touch your toes. You can lift up your heels to do like some calf raises. You can also lift up your toes to stretch out your shins. Right? You can reach your arm across and stretch out your back and your triceps. You can, be careful obviously the person next to you. You can do those types of things. You can roll your wrists. You can roll your shoulders. Those type of things you can do like while sitting down. I do like butt clenches sometimes too. It's kind of embarrassing, but you can do it. Just kind of move things around. You can lift up your legs to stretch your hip flexor, like bring your knee like up to your chest as you're sitting too. Kind of like you can kind of see it. Those are really good too. If you're traveling to a new place and you're going to be there a while, check out see if they have yoga classes at local studios or gyms. Those are great places to keep your body moving, learn about the area, all those things, get engaged in low impact stuff. And then I always bring, I don't think I have, do I have them? I might have them here. Yeah. And I always bring like resistance bands too, because you can do all kinds of stuff, right? You can do all kinds of things with resistance bands. If you want little stretches or workouts, let me know. Those help too, because our bodies were designed to move, y'all. Okay? They were designed to move. So those are just a couple of things I wanted you to be aware of. I know it can be a lot of information and it can be overwhelming. But I'm telling you, once you're educated on this stuff, then you can be empowered to make changes, right? On your own. You can't do it all on your own. Don't try to do it on your own. We're here in community together. So again, take a look at those transformation photos, by the way. They're really amazing. They're over on Instagram there. And don't be afraid to reach out for help, okay? Schedule a free call with me. I have the links in all my bios on all the social media platforms, okay? And I know vacations can be scary and overwhelming. I don't ever want you to be overwhelmed. So if you are, I want you to reach out. Again, schedule a call. I know many of you have and have gotten great results from that. And we've set up, one-on-one coaching and stuff like that. That's great. But I want to be able to help you with those in-between moments. And, like vacations, long weekends, trips, all those things. Family coming into town. We've got, I know many of us won't have vacations for, but we got holidays coming up. Oh, we got to prepare for those too. Kids maybe have 3-day weekends, things like that. But I want you to know that we need to get out of the house. We need to have the breaks. We need to have all those things, and not let our autoimmune conditions be a reason for us to not get out and do fun things. Okay, we are given them for a reason. A reason there, guys. And we were giving them for a reason to show others. Sorry, my kids were in there. I had to mute. They were really loud. And show others what's truly possible. Okay. A lot of us sit there and we're like, oh man, I can't do this. I have this condition. You're right. You can't if you keep saying that you can't. Okay. But with support, with help, with the tools, all those things, you can. That's why I do these lives. That's why I get on calls with you guys. That's why I provide you with all this content. And if you decide to work with me and are in alignment, that's great too, because we can get even further and do more help. We can do all the functional medicine stuff. We can do the nutrition. We can do the labs. We can do the fitness. We can do the stress management, sleep management, you name it, because our body all works together. Okay. So we really need to know our own capabilities though. I'm here to push you, but I'm not here to push you so much that you can't do something. Okay. So those are things that I'm here for. Again, message me, have a conversation with me. I'm here to serve. That's what I was put here on this earth for, to help serve you guys as you guys are. And none of us were here, put on this earth to be like, you're going to be in pain. That is the whole goal of you being here. You're going to be sick, right? And a lot of times we have to humble ourselves to be like, what did I or didn't I do in my life, or what do I do in my lifestyle, my nutrition, my fitness, whatever it may be, that is causing these issues? Because I always look at the root cause, guys. Root cause, okay? I don't like putting band-aids on things. And humble ourselves and say, okay, and own it and say, I did do this, or I didn't do this, and let's work on it, okay? And it does take work, but I'm telling you, the light at the end of the tunnel is amazing, okay? And because I want you guys to be able to go on these trips and get better and better and better and use the tools better and better and better, so that you are able to do all that you were designed to do, as we talk about here, designing the best you. All right, guys, so if you have any follow-up questions, again, please feel free to message me, comment on here, set up a discovery call, and we will see you again here next week. And if you want any specific topic too, please reach out and let me know, because this is all for you guys, not for me, it's for you guys. All right, have a great rest of your day.